Matt, we need to do this, yo.
You are now...
This needs to happen. I'm so excited.
You are now live, my friend.
Right, what, this moment, I'm live?
You are live.
Reporting live. Hi, good morning, everybody. Is it morning or afternoon? It's probably afternoon, like everywhere in the world. Is there anywhere in the world it's still morning? These are questions I have. Matt, I don't know.
Right now, it's afternoon. Our time.
But is it afternoon everywhere?
Eventually.
Or is it? I don't know. Who knows? No, these problems cannot possibly be solved. Hi guys, good morning, afternoon, damn it. I'm looking forward to talking today. I've got something incredibly special coming up for you that I think you are going to enjoy. Matt, do we have people watching first of all? Oh wow, there's a lot of you guys here. Talk about the super secret seminar. Today, we're going to talk about one thing. We're going to deviate just a little bit slightly and yet not. As always, I want to interact with you guys, so I'm being very secretive on purpose. I promise you all will be revealed. Stay with me through the suspense as we try and solve a couple of little things first. First things first, I've got a question for you. Anybody who's never been on these seminars before, you may or may not know this, but I like to interact. I like to talk to you guys. I want to help you. I have one purpose here, and that's to help you. I'm donating my time on my Saturday afternoon. Could be upstairs playing video games with my kids. I like beating my kid at Star Wars Battlefront. It's funny because he's 6. He gets upset every time I win. So it makes me laugh. So that's what I could be doing. Instead, I'm here and I'm helping you. So if I'm putting in my attention, if I'm being focused, I need you to be focused too. I need you to interact with me. I need to know, have you purchased a self-help program that you have never used? So do you have a book about, I don't know, how to make money or how to lose weight or how to pick up chicks that you have never actually used, or a DVD or a video program, something you have never used? If so, I want to hear, yes, I have. I want to hear, yes, I've done it. Yes, there is that kind of problem. Now, I want to confirm used, because used isn't the same as read. So you can read a book, but if you don't put it into practice, then it's not going to have any effect for you. You know what I mean? So you can't be like, oh yeah, I got 10 books and I read all of them. No, did you put them into practice? Did you do at least one thing from every single program that you have ever bought? So I want to see if you have not, if there has been a time where you've bought something and you haven't used it and it's just sitting on your shelf, I want to know about it. I want you to tell me about it. Ideally, I'd like you to tell me what that book or program is as well, if you can think of it. If there's one that you know of that you're not using, let me know. There's a bit of a delay, so it'll take a while to get onto here. Today, we're going to be talking about this super secret thing. There's going to be one specific topic. It's going to be the only topic we cover today. We're going to talk about this super secret topic very soon. I'm just going to color in this red diamond for a moment. I'm excited to share this with you because what I'm going to share with you is the secret to actually making you do things. Actually putting into practice and making things happen. Matt, we're getting some answers from people.
We got a ton of answers, man. There's a ton of people.
We got a ton of answers. All right, love this. What are people saying?
There's a few that have not, but most.
A few that haven't. Okay, that's good. For those few of you that have bought things and have actually put it into practice, this isn't for you. I'm going to tell you that right now. You don't have to watch this seminar. You might as well just turn it off right now. Matt, I'm looking to see some of those viewers drop because this is not for you. This is for people that buy stuff and do not put it into practice, that read it and don't action it, people that procrastinate, people that don't get their shit done. If you're someone that gets your shit done, you are going to get 0 out of this seminar. I could say it right now. You might as well leave. Go play Star Wars Battlefront. It's a good game. Go watch TV. Do something else. You do not need to be here today. This is for people that want to take action. People that think, you know what? I could be fucking hot girls and I'm not. Or people that think I could be doing better and I'm not. We're going to talk to you about the one thing that is stopping that from happening and what we can do to fix it. Matt, any other interesting answers from people?
Well, someone's been studying cookbooks and I guess their cooking's getting better.
Studying cookbooks and their cookbook getting better, but are they putting it all into practice? That's the question.
Yeah, I haven't answered that part yet.
Cool. We have any other programs or products people are talking about? Anything people are mentioning?
As far as
specific books. Yeah.
MWWY by JC, if you know that.
Yeah. MWWY by Jason Capital.
Yes. Otherwise, no one has mentioned the actual title yet.
Okay, all right. So no one else has mentioned.
A book called The Natural.
The Natural, of course. Yep, I know The Natural. Awesome. All right, guys. So it's very easy to get self-help books, self-help programs, self-help DVDs, and not put them into practice. I had a question earlier on today. I do a lot of free seminars on Saturdays because apparently that's what my Saturdays are. And I had a question earlier on today, which was, what do you do when you go up and you talk to a girl and you get a cock block? You know, her boyfriend turns up or one of the other girls in the group who tries to become a cock block stop you. What is a cock block? By the way, today's subject that we're going to be talking about is, in case you hadn't guessed, is cock blocks. Specifically, we're looking for the biggest cock block and how to deal with it. So we're looking for the biggest cock block and how to deal with it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today specifically. So you buy a book, you buy a DVD, you buy something like that, and you really want to put it into practice, and yet you don't. And you don't because something is getting in your way. It's exactly the same as if you're talking to a girl and suddenly a friend turns up and she gets in the way and she makes it difficult. And everyone says to me, they're like, how do you deal with cock blocks? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't get cock blocks. I haven't been cock blocked for 9 years at this point, I think. It's an insane amount of time that I haven't seen a single cock block. And no one believes me. They're like, yeah, right, you never got a cock block. I'm like, no, I never did. And then people will be like, oh, that's because his game's so good he doesn't get cock blocks. No, that's not why. It's nothing to do with that. Where do cock blocks come from? That's the question. Because we always think about this cock block like being some fat chick that's trying to stop you talking to a girl, or some dude that, wishes he could be with her or something. Some awkward guy. But the truth is this. You create cock blocks. They don't exist unless you create them. Every single hurdle that you find and you come up against when it comes to trying to self-improve, you created. You put that cock block there. So I'm going to explain a little bit about where cock blocks come from, how we create them, how they're probably holding you back from money, from success, from confidence, from getting rich, from getting in shape, from having sex with beautiful girls, from finding a true partner, from settling down, from finding true love, from finding happiness, how you create that cock block and how it holds you back. So we'll talk about girls first of all, because this is a situation that everyone seems to get to. You know the situation, you talk to a girl, her friend's like, come on, Haley, we gotta go, Haley. And you're like, oh, but Haley, we were just talking a minute ago about how we're gonna get shots. No, Haley's gotta go. Haley needs to go home. Oh, but Haley, I thought we were just talking about this. Oh, I really like you, but my girl says that I have to go. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'll call you. And then that's it, you never hear from her again. And you're like, fuck that bitch, that cock block was horrible. You made that happen. You create that cock block. Cock blocks do not exist. You know what I get? I get assists. Every time I meet a girl and she's got a friend, her friend is like, you should go and have sex with him. That's what you should do. That's what I get. I get assists. That's what her friend should be doing. Her friend should be talking about how she should be going home with you. She should be going, Haley, you should take him home. He looks like he's so much fun. That's what you should be getting. I'll tell you a story. I once dated an American woman. Actually, I've dated lots of American women. There was one particular American woman that I dated. And the very first night I met her, she was tall, brunette, beautiful. I ended up marrying her. She was a wonderful, awesome woman, very good friend of mine. And when I met this girl, the very first moment I met her, I was like, hey, just so you know, I don't date brunettes. And she's like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I just want to get it out there straight away. I don't date brunettes. I like blondes. And she goes, my friend's blonde. I was like, I know your friend's cute. And she's like, well, you should talk to her. I was like, I get shy of talking to girls. She's like, what do you mean shy? Aren't you a dating coach? I'm like, yeah, I'm a dating coach. I get shy of talking to girls, especially blondes. Brunettes, fine. Talk to them all day. That's why I'm talking to you. Talk to brunettes any day of the week. Talking to blondes, that's hard work. Blondes, I get nervous. I don't know what to say. She's like, I can talk to her for you if you want. I'm like, would you do that? That would be great. So she goes up to her blonde friend. She says, you see Adam? He's amazing. You should dance with him. Totally make out with him. It'd be so fun. And so the blonde's like, okay. She comes up to me. She's like, hi. I'm like, hi. I grab her. I pick her up. I take her to a wall. I start dry humping her against the wall. We start making out in the club. I say to her, hey, have you ever been on a motorcycle ride around London late at night across cobblestone streets lit by firelight? And she's like, no. And I was like, come with me. I'll show you. And she's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, I'm not kidding you. Come with me. We'll be back within an hour. No one will even know you've gone. She's like, okay. I take this guy. I go to walk out the club. As I leave, tall brunette looks at me and she's like, you're not bad with women. And I was like, no, I'm not. And so I walk out, I take this girl, and that's my point. There is no cock block. There's none. She put the girl in my hands. I take her out, we go on the motorcycle ride, we go down the cobblestone streets, it starts raining, she's rubbing her hand all over my junk, we pull up at my house, we go in there, I fuck her, I take her back on the bike, I drive her back to the club, I drop her back off at the club with her friends within the hour that I said I would. Yes, sex only takes 30 seconds if you do it right. We get back and drop her off at the club, and then I start hanging out with the brunette, and the next day I go on a date with the brunette, and the blonde's like, oh my god, he's so amazing, and the brunette and me hang out, and then the next thing you know, I start dating the brunette, and I marry the brunette. There is no cock block. They are handing each other to me. They're not fighting against me because I don't create cock blocks. But if you are struggling, then you may find that you are creating cock blocks. So here's a question for you. Do you find that you get cock blocks? And I don't just mean in dating life, but I mean in everyday life. Are you trying to get a pay rise and there's somebody stopping you from getting it? Are you trying to work out, but there are people feeding you food that stops you from doing it? Do you wish you could go to the gym, but the gym is always packed and the machines you want to use, there's always some meathead using it? Do you have cock blocks in your life? Do you want to be going and, putting something into practice, but Netflix is so appealing? So Netflix is your cock block. Do you have cock blocks? If you have cock blocks, you are in the right place. This is a cock block removing service. For the next however many minutes it takes us to do a seminar, we're going to remove cock blocks from your life, one by one. More importantly, we're going to stop you creating them, because that's the real issue. The reason you've got a blockage in the success of your life, the reason your plumbing to success is struggling, is because you put the cock block there. You filled it up. You plugged up your own proverbial toilet, and now we're going to teach you how to unplug it and make sure you don't clog it again. I hope you guys like my analogies. It's one of those kind of days.
People are excited, man. They're like, yes, let's do it.
Okay, that's good. Is anyone like, oh, great, I don't need to be here. Fine, fuck you.
Yeah, one of them.
One, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad he's gone. That's awesome. How many people are viewing at the moment? Did we
130.
Oh shit, we gained 40 people instead of losing people.
Yeah.
Lost one and gained 40. All right, cool, good. All right, well, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm hyped up, I'm psyched up, ready for action. Standing in a crowd of girls like an island. That was the song I was singing for Matt earlier on while he was setting up. He appreciated it. All right, so cock blocks. We create cock blocks. Let's talk about how you create a cock block talking to girls first. Then after that, we're going to talk about how you create cock blocks talking to everybody else. Here's what happens. When you imagine you're getting ready to go out for a night on the town, you're hanging out, maybe you're on your own, maybe with your boys, it doesn't matter, but you're in your house, you're chilling, you got a drink, and you're ironing your shirt. If you don't iron your shirt before you go out, shame on you. So you're ironing your shirt, and you're putting on your cologne, and you're getting ready, and you're thinking, I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet a girl tonight. Meet a girl tonight. A girl. There is not a girl on somewhere else in the fucking city thinking, oh my God, I'm just going to go out alone tonight and see what happens. That ain't happening. No, it is happening. But here's what she's thinking. Oh my God, I'm going to go out and meet a guy tonight and I'm going to charge him lots of money to have sex with me. That's what she's thinking. If she's alone, that's what she's thinking. She ain't alone. You're not going to meet a girl. When you're getting ready, your head's in the wrong place already. You're thinking about the girl you're going to meet. You're not going to meet a girl. You're going to meet a group of girls. That's what you're going to meet. Just get it in your head. All right, I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to meet a group of girls. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to say some smooth lines. And I'm going to take her to the bar. We're going to have a drink. And I'm going to make out with her. I'm going to take... What happened to all the friends? Where the fuck did they go? Why are they not in your mental map? When you're imagining the shit you're going to be doing later on today, where are the friends? You're not even considering it, right? Tell me if that's truth. Say, truth, I'm not even thinking about it. If you disagree with me, if you're thinking about the friends, then that's absolutely fine. I want to hear that too. But if you can honestly tell me that when you get ready at night, you are genuinely not thinking about just the girl, then I want to hear about it. I want to know exactly what's going through your head, because I would argue that almost all of you are just thinking about the success you are or are not going to have. And if you are thinking about the friends, you're only thinking about one thing. You're thinking about how they might stop you or how you're going to handle them. You are thinking and manifesting cock blocks already. The only time you're thinking about the friends is how they might screw you up. You're not thinking anything else about them, and that's why you're screwing yourself up. You're imagining it. That I'm going to go out there, I'm going to talk to this girl and her friends, this is how I'm going to stop them from fucking it up. What friends are going to fuck it up? The ones you're creating in your mind. You're making it difficult. What are people saying?
Everyone's agreeing, like, true.
It's so true, right? You're not even thinking about it, and that's what happens, right? So here's the deal. Instead, you're going to think differently. Well, you can imagine, we go to the club. You're in the club, you're talking to this group. There's a group. You're talking to the girl, you like this one girl. Her friend comes up, and she's like, oh, Haley! And you're like, shit, here's that cock block. No, it's her friend. She said, oh, Haley. She's not a cock block. She didn't turn up. She's just talking to her friend that she's known for the last 10 years. It's nothing to do with you. And then she's like, oh my God, Haley, hey, my friend just turned up. I've got to say hi. And you're like, oh, there it is. She's taking her away. No, she's not taking her away. She's talking to her friend. She's allowed to talk to her friend. She's introducing her friend to another friend that turned up. You don't get to say anything about that. That was always the plan. So then fucking this dude turns up. We'll call him Big Mike. And Big Mike works out, and Big Mike's good looking. And Big Mike's got a big ripped chest. And Big Mike reads the girl. And you're like, oh, now this guy, this fucking Amog's going to come and take this girl from me? No, he's not. He's just a friend. He's getting introduced. He just met her. That's his cold approach. It's a warm approach. He's getting an introduction. That's all it is. You're not being cock-blocked. She's not getting rid of you to get some other guy. She was always going to introduce him to that guy. That was always going to happen. You're the anomaly. That's the normal. That's the difference between you and me. When I go out there, I'm not looking at the world like that. Here's what I think when I get ready. I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to meet a bunch of girls. I'm going to make them laugh. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about sex. Why? I like talking about sex. That's all that's going to happen. I'm not worried about what's going to go down. I leave. I go out. I see groups of girls. I go and have fun with the groups of girls. I don't just talk to fucking Haley. Fuck Haley. I'm going to talk to her friends. I'm going to talk to all their friends. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. I'm going to start smacking people's butts. I'm going to spin them around. I'm going to laugh. When Big Mike turns up, I'll smack his butt too. I'll high-five Big Mike. I'll become friends with Big Mike. You know why? Big Mike's fucking huge. Girls are going to be staring at him the whole night. They're going to come up to him. They're going to try and hit on him. You know what Big Mike don't have? Game. You know why Big Mike don't have game? He didn't need game. He didn't need to learn game. He doesn't need to understand social dynamics. He doesn't need to know how to angle your body in order to lock somebody out of a set. He doesn't need to know the correct way you touch somebody to escalate and turn them on. Big Mike don't know that shit. So when 6 girls come and hit on Big Mike, I give him one. The one that I don't want. I take the other 5 for myself, take them home and have a threesome. Big Mike's like, how'd you do that? I'm like, it's game, bro. And he's like, could you teach me? I'm like, maybe. And then I'll hang out with Big Mike and loads of girls are going to come and hit on Big Mike and I'm going to pick the ones I want and I'm going to teach him how to have a threesome with 2 of the ugly ones I don't want. And he's going to think it's great. You know why I teach him to have the ugly ones? You know why? Guess. That's right, Big Mike ain't paying me. Big Mike don't get to learn how to pick up the hot ones. If you want to pick up the hot one off me, you're paying me. It's how it works. Otherwise, the hot one's mine. And so that's what happens. I'm viewing it differently. I'm not thinking Big Mike's coming to take my girl. I'm not thinking there's a cockblock trying to stop me. I'm thinking I'm going to have fun. Big Mike is actually more valuable to me than the Haley. Fuck Haley. Haley's a one-off girl. I've had sex many times. Big Mike, being tall, big, and imposing in a club, that could be useful. I could use that to draw attention and meet other women without having to cold approach them. I view the situation differently. There are no cock blocks in my world. There are opportunities. When I'm talking to Haley and her friend comes in, it's an opportunity, reminding me that I'm supposed to engage the friends first. So when she comes over, I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I've met you. Hey, I'm Adam. Nice to meet you. Fuck Haley. Now I'm going to talk to the friend. Now I'm going to befriend the friend because it was a good lesson. It was a reminder that I was supposed to engage the friend. Fuck Haley. Haley's going to work it out later on. If Haley's a follower, and trust me, if she's hot and she's gorgeous and she's not mouthing in the group, she's a follower. Then she's going to follow the whole group all night. I don't have to focus on Haley. I can focus on the group. Haley's going to follow the group. Why? Because that's what Haley does. At the end of the night, I can make sure everyone gets home safely, and then all I have to do is work out the order. If there's 4 people, I drop everyone off first, Haley last. I'll pick up the Uber tab at the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. Just go straight to my credit card. Point being, once everyone else has dropped off, now I'm with Haley. I'm at Haley's place. I'm like, hey, do you know what? Do you mind if I jump off with you and just use your restroom just for a minute? I can get another Uber afterwards. I just paid for all of her friends to get home. Haley's like, sure. I go in her place. I use the restroom. I say, oh my God, let me show you that music video I told you about. Boom. Now you're at Haley's house. No cock blocks. No one's in the way. Big Mike left with the ugly chicks. Done. There are no cock blocks in my world. In your world, by the end of this seminar, there'll be no cock blocks in your world either. So let's have a look. What are people saying here? I just want to do a quick touch base. Anyone agree? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Does this make sense? Fill me in. Let me know.
Yeah, everyone's agreeing with you, man. They're like, wow, just keep on talking. They're like, this is so true. It's so true. There's one guy that's like, you know what? This seminar, I think this one isn't for me because he's like realizing finally that, oh, this is for everyone else.
Oh, he said it isn't for him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, as I said, some of you, this might not be for you, you know, and that's absolutely fine. If you're someone that takes action, if you're someone that gets stuff done, if you don't stand in your own way, then that's absolutely fine. This seminar isn't for you. You don't need to watch it. Go home. Do something else. But if you are having problems, if there are objections in your life, if there are things in your way, then you need to be watching this. So now we're going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about other kinds of cock blocks, other things that might get in your way. Let's talk about something else that might be holding you back. I don't know, let's just say working out. Maybe working out is holding you back. And there's a cock block to working out. What could be the cock block standing in your way from working out? Maybe it's food. Maybe food is your issue. You see, here's the thing, I'm lazy. When it comes to food, I am a lazy person. If I can't just grab it and eat it, it's not going to happen. So, you know what it's really easy to do? It's really easy to have a cupboard that's full of snacks, that's full of French fries or like crisps, chips is what I wanted to call them, and I realized, you know, chips is what you call them, and candy and chocolate. It's easy to have a whole bunch of that stuff. So whenever I'm hungry, I'm just going to go there, I'm just going to grab it, I'm going to eat some crisps, I'm going to eat some chocolate, I'm going to eat all the wrong shit, I'm going to start putting on weight, and it's very difficult. I know this, I struggled with my weight. You can just go back and look at some of the older seminars, and you can see how fat I was literally 6 months ago. And I've lost a hell of a lot of that weight, and I've managed to keep it off by just focusing on making sure that the easiest food for me to eat is healthy. I learned what healthy food is, and now I am not my own cock block because I'm working with it. I know that I'm lazy. I know that when it comes to food, I'm going to grab whatever the closest thing is to me. So you've noticed when I'm sitting in the seminars, there is water here in my hand. It's a huge thing of water. I carry it around with me the entire day because it is the easiest thing for me to grab. So I'm not just reaching into the fridge and drinking apple juice, which is really easy to get. No, because the water is next to me. I don't have to walk to the fridge. I removed the cock block. What I did was I worked with it rather than fighting it. Exactly the same with the girls. Don't look at them as cock blocks, look at them as aids, look at them as learning, look at them as a way to meet people. Same when it comes to this. I know that I'm lazy, so I need to make it as easy as possible for myself to succeed. Suddenly the cock block to losing weight disappears. Abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym. It doesn't even matter if I miss the gym every so often because I'm drinking water and I'm making sure that I eat healthily. So the cock block that's stopping me from getting fit has removed. So now I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go through in the chat and I want you to write down, everybody, write down an obstacle that is in your way from success. So for me, if I was going to write something down, and right now I can't actually think of an obstacle in the way of my success, and I want you to think, actually no, I've got one. I'm in the middle of buying a house. So let me show you. So I'm buying a house, right? So the thing I want is this house. It's not just any house, it's a beautiful house in 28 acres of private land. Why do I want 28 acres of land? Big orgies. So 28 acres of land, my house. What is my obstacle? I'm competing with another buyer for the property. And that's my obstacle. So this is my cock block, right? This is what's getting in my way. Now, some people say, oh, just raise the price, just pay more. In this situation, I won't bore you with it, I can't. There's a legal reason. We are bound into the price and we're both paying the same amount. The other person has the chance to buy the property before me. That's just how it is. They get first offer, I get second offer. Right now, this person is getting in the way of me getting my house. This is my cock block. But the reality is, I'm my cock block. So what I want you to do in the chat is I want you to write down what you want and what the object is in the way, what your cock block is. And we're going to go through, we're going to pick some, I'm going to give you some suggestions. And then I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing with mine to bypass my cock block. Just imagine it's a difficult situation. How do I bypass my own cock block? Go for it, Matt. What we got here?
For these people, they got approach anxiety. It could be the amount of carbs they eat or the military life that they're living.
Okay, but what I want to hear is ideally the two things. So what they want and what their cock block is. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So just pick one and give it to me because you just gave me 3 different ones in different areas.
Okay.
Give me a specific one. One that looks good. You're in Matt's hands, guys. Matt's going to pick who we help.
Okay.
He's thinking about this. You can see.
All right, I'm going to go with this one.
All right, go.
He says, self-confidence to talk to women because I have the idea that if it goes bad, then she tells everybody, then I'm the laughing stock.
Okay, self-confidence when it comes to talking to the women because he's worried that if it goes bad, that she's going to tell everyone and he's the laughing stock. So first things first, the success you want is to be confident talking to women. That's a success. The cock block is what if they say something bad. Now I want you to point out, has anyone ever said anything bad? Have you ever been the laughing stock? Because the reality is, most girls won't. But if you want to remove that one, the only way to get confident talking to girls is to do it. So if you want to remove it really easily, try adding that to the line when you talk to her. Go up to her and say, hey, I just got to say, you're incredibly beautiful. And I know this might sound strange, but this was a really difficult thing for me to say because I actually get really shy talking to women. So I really wanted you to know that and also to let you know that, I'm kind of shy. Boom. Done. She's not going to go around and talk to people because you've said this is your biggest fear. If she does, she's a fucking cunt, and then everyone that she tells is going to think this person's a cunt. This guy's turned around to you and said to you specifically that he's concerned, that he's shy, and that you might make fun of him, and now you're actively making fun of him. What a whore you are. You know what I mean? That's going to make her look bad. The cock block's gone. You are the real cock block in that situation because you're imagining how horrible she's going to be. Most women aren't that horrible. The more beautiful they are, the less horrible they are. Why? Because they care about other people's opinion of themselves. That's why they work so hard to look beautiful. That's why they don't put so much time into their hair so people can go, oh, yeah, she's really pretty, but she's a bitch. No one wants to be hearing bad things about themselves. The prettier they are, the more they do not want to hear those bad things. You're your cock block because you're imagining what they're going to say. They're not saying it. You just think they are. You created that cock block. And we all create our own cock blocks. That's the problem. And you always have to bypass them. Let's do another one. Let's see somebody else.
A lot of people are realizing they are their own cock blocks.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you guys are realizing this. I'm going to give you some simple steps. I'm going to show you some samples of how to solve it. And I'm going to give you one huge thing you can do to fix this.
This is interesting. It's related to the house a little bit. He says he wants a peaceful apartment, but his cock block is a destructive roommate.
So he wants a peaceful apartment. His cock block is the destructive roommate. You guys hearing this? You guys should be able to solve it. Let's see if we can get this going. Let's see if you guys can solve this. How do we solve this for this poor guy? He wants a peaceful apartment, but he's got a destructive roommate. Well, apartments aren't peaceful or destructive. Roommates are. The solution is very simple. Change your roommate. You're the cock block. You're choosing to be his roommate as much as he's yours. Change. New roommate. It's the way forward. Cock block's gone. It's not really there. You don't have to room with that person. It's not like it's by law that person has to be your roommate unless you're logging into this via prison, in which case I can't really help you. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how this works. You're in charge of who your roommate is. You're in control. You don't have to be with that person. You can be peaceful. Drop the roommate. Enjoy life. Next one. Still another one. Did people help him? Were people like writing, dude, just dump the roommate?
They're like, move out.
There you go. That's great. You guys, you can all help each other much easier. Go for it. Let's see another one. Let's do one more, and then I'll do mine.
Having sex and being worried about being a virgin and not being experienced.
Having sex and being worried about being a virgin. Did you know those two things can't be... If you have sex, you don't have to worry about being a virgin. Straight up. It's gone. The minute you have sex, it's gone. There are so many ways to not be a virgin, and I would never ever endorse paying for it for your first time, because obviously that's completely illegal. But if I was so worried about being a virgin that I was worried it was going to hold me back, and I wanted to make sure my first time was good, I would definitely consider going somewhere where it's completely legal and losing it and paying somebody to make sure it was a good time and telling them, say, I'm nervous, it's my first time, and I want to do it with somebody that can guide me through it. Truth be told, everybody you have sex with in your life is not going to be perfect. It's not like you're going to marry the first person you have sex with. So once you remove that romantic idea out of your head, then paying for a first time isn't actually much of a bad idea. I have a bunch of friends that have done it, and they've all said it was one of the best choices they've ever made because it was all about them. Whereas for most people, their first time, it's all about the other person. And that means you can't really sit back and enjoy it. Again, I'm not saying you should do that because it's illegal, but I'm just saying that I know people that have done it, and they've found that it helped them a lot. Once again, if you have sex, you're not a virgin, the cock block disappears. Cock blocks vanish, they're not real. There's no such thing. Let's do one more, because I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
All these things are solvable, guys. There's not a single problem you're going to put up there that we can't solve. Have we done them all?
There's this one, this guy keeps posting it.
So let's do that one.
See how it goes. All right, how to deal with cock blockers in the Middle East because it's extremely unusual.
How to deal with cock blocks in the Middle East because it's extremely unusual. So I'm actually well aware of this situation. I've been to Dubai a bunch of times. I know what you're on about. This is very easy. You just have to isolate people first. You got to make sure that you can get them away from everybody else before you attempt to do anything. In general, public displays of affection are not going to go down well in the Middle East, so you do need to get them in a private room. So if you can get them somewhere where the two of you can sit down, have some mango juice and just chill out and do some hookah or whatever, and then once you've got them alone, then there's nobody else to cock block you. And actually, a lot of Middle Eastern women turn to be incredibly sexual when you get them alone. So that's probably one of the best things you can do. All right, how do I deal with mine? It's very simple. I find another house. I don't have to have this house. Legally, I'm second in line for this house. I'm not first. So I've already started searching. This is the house that I want. But I mean, any house that matches the criteria is going to be fine. I just need a big enough house to make sure I can do orgies, right? So all I've got to do is just keep looking for more houses. I don't get caught up on the one. Yes, it would be nice if I got that one. But the point isn't to have that particular house. I didn't wake up 2 years ago and say, you know what? I have to have that particular house on that particular street. No, let's have a list of criteria. And there are multiple houses in my criteria. I do not have to find it today. It does not have to be that house. It just so happens that that is the house that I want. That is the house that I would like, but I'm not tied to it. The minute I lose that desire that it has to be that specific house and accept the fact that I just want a house that matches my criteria, suddenly everything becomes easier. You are your own cock block. Now, another way that you hold yourself up is your language. Did you know there are certain things that you say when you talk to people that make them feel like they don't want to help you and make them feel like you don't really know what you want? There's actually, for example, and I can't explain to you the exact example that I want to, but I can show you where to get it. The reason I can't give the exact example is because the concept was created by a guy by the name of Michael Bernoff. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Michael Bernoff is, but he often works with the Tao of Badass, and he helps people put into practice the things that they have been studying and the things that they have actively wanted to learn. Now, Michael Bernoff has become a very good friend of mine over the years, and I can tell you without a doubt that this guy is one of the most confident, driven, successful people I know. And he's one of those people that goes out there and gets whatever he wants. There is no such thing as a cockblock in Michael Bernoff's life. And if there is, I guarantee you he crushes it and destroys it under his feet. Now, coming up this very week, I'm going to be having Michael Bernoff come onto a phone call for free to sit down and talk about how you can become more confident, more importantly, how you can get the most out of all the things you want to be doing in life. If you're not living up to your full potential, if you're not putting things into practice you know you should be, if you're procrastinating, if you're trying to get a pay rise and people aren't giving it to you, if there is something you want and you are not getting it, then Michael Bernoff is the solution to that, because what he does is he literally will show you how what you are putting forth into the world isn't good enough to get what you want, and he's going to show you how, just with a few little tweaks, easy tweaks. He'll actually do it live on the phone call. He'll get some of you, you may be lucky enough to be you, get you live on the phone call with him, where within 30 seconds of talking to you, he will point out exactly why you're not getting the success you want. Like I said, I can't give the exact example because that is Michael Bernoff's content, and I don't want to steal it from him. But I believe there's a link under this video. There's a link under this video. If you click on it, you can reserve your spot to come and join myself and Michael Bernoff this week, where he will be taking you through that. So here's what I want you to remember from this. I'm going to do a quick recap of everything, and we can do a couple of questions. So if you do have a question, now's a good time to start writing it. Recap number one. You are your own cock block. You create them, they don't exist. You're putting the obstacles up in your life, and if you just think a little bit cleverly about it, if you approach things in a very different way, then you will make sure that those cock blocks disappear and you start getting a hell of a lot more success. And as long as you're doing that, then you can get pretty much everything you want. The only other thing you need to do is you need to learn how to put out into the world the stuff you want, how to speak in a way that draws the correct people to you and makes them feel that you're not wishy-washy and you know exactly what you want, you know how to get after it. And so Michael Bernoff is going to be able to help you do that. Like I said, you can just click on the link and you can gain access to that free phone call with myself and with Michael Bernoff this coming week. So do not miss this. Click on that link. Sign up for it. Come and join me and Michael Bernoff. Literally every single one of you. Like, we got rid of everyone that didn't care, right? How many people are watching this now?
145.
145. There's 145 of you guys. I expect 145 clicks. If you're watching this far, you should go through. I can literally check it as well. Every one of you that's watching this, we have tracking. So I'll know if you didn't click. So do me and you a favor. You're here. We got rid of everyone else. You're here because you want to succeed in your cock blocks in your life. I'm telling you, Michael Bernoff will tell you how to completely eradicate that forever. You want to be having sex with hot girls, you want to make more money, you want to be more confident, whatever it is, there is something stopping you getting it, and I guarantee you Michael Bernoff will be able to find it for you there and then on the phone call, and it's free. Do yourself a favor, just click on the link and come and join us. Let's do some questions. If I had a couple of questions, we can do those now as well.
Way under the delay, but I put the link in the chat just in case.
Cool.
Wait for the video feed to catch up.
Awesome. So there's a slight delay in the video feed, guys. We're just going to wait just to make sure there are some questions coming through.
Okay, so what do you do if you're talking to a girl and she becomes the cock block?
What do you do if you're talking to a girl and she becomes the cock block?
Yeah, she hates you now.
Okay, so if you're talking to a girl and suddenly she becomes the obstacle, then once again, you've created that because you've said something that's upset her. The easiest way is to avoid that in the first place, obviously. So what that means is you should be reading the other person's body language and only escalating when you know that the other person's going to be interested in moving with you. I've done a bunch of seminars on escalation, a bunch of seminars on body language, and you should be putting that stuff into practice. The only way to recover from that, realistically, is just to move on to somebody else. Like, she's not a cock block, she's just not interested. And so you can just move on and get somebody else. Remember, they don't exist. You just bypass them and just go and do what you want. If she's that pissed off at you, having sex with her is going to be terrible anyway. Cool. Next question.
I want a new life and social circle, but I live in a small town in Bulgaria.
I want a new life and social circle, but I live in a small town in Bulgaria. Believe it or not, you're creating that. Move. I have lived in London. I've lived in Cambridge. I've lived in Winchester. I have lived in the northern part of London, just outside of it. I've lived in South Africa. I've lived in Dallas. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in Miami. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived in different parts of Texas. If you don't like where you're living, move. I've done it multiple times in my life, and I love it every single time. It's the best way to meet new people. It's the best way to build a new life. Just move. There's no reason for you to stay where you are. Cool. Next question.
How do I turn my marriage into polyamory?
How do I turn my marriage into polyamory? Okay, that's very difficult. Opening up a marriage to being polyamorous is incredibly hard. That doesn't mean it's impossible. And again, there's no cock block there. It's just the difference is you're changing something. And when you're changing something that's stable, it's not always a good idea. If your marriage is unstable, ironically, it's easier to add polyamory because it's already unstable, so it doesn't matter. The easiest way to do it is to identify if your girl is interested in having sex with women. And if she is, encourage her to have sex with women, ideally with you helping her meet the women. Don't try and make it about you. Don't try and make it about you having sex. Make it about her having sex with other people. Once she's done that, it's going to be a lot easier for you to join in and transition into that. Cool?
Okay, another one would be, how do I stop the girl I'm talking to from being on her phone all the time?
How do I stop the girl I'm talking to from being on the phone all the time? This is difficult in this day and age. You know, the modern phone is the equivalent of what the newspapers used to be back in the day, or, you know, television on the screen in the background, and people just get drawn to it. It's hard. Human beings are addicted to communication, and your phone is literally a communication device, just like completely attached to you. I think the only way to do it is to bring it up and talk to her about it. And, you know, see if the two of you can have no cell phone times. We have it in our house. We have a rule where at a certain time we just take cell phones and we all put them in one room, and we have nothing to do with it. In fact, yeah, my cell phone's not on me right now because of that reason. I just wanted to double check that I didn't pick it up as I came down here, but no, it's true. What we do is, like, we'll often just have moments where we're like, okay, no cell phones for a while. And that's the moment that we're in right now. So all of us, our cell phones are somewhere else right now, just charging or doing something else. So having that moment where it's a no cell phone period, where you're both under the agreement, you both want to have cell phones, that's the best way to do it. By the way, playing board games is one of the fastest way I've found to stop people looking at cell phones. Cool. Next question?
Board games, that explains all the board games you play.
That's where the board games come from. It came from, we needed a way where we'd interact with each other that wasn't sitting on phones at the same time. Television, people will often pick up their phone and check it while they're watching TV, so you're still in that habit. But when you're playing a board game, you can be like, hey, can everyone focus on the board game? No phones. Of course, Jane sometimes breaks that rule because she's addicted to her phone. But that's the only person that you'll ever see really on her phone during a board game is Jane. Unless it's dedicated phone time off, in which case she'll put her phone down.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What? Okay. How to deal with a jealous girlfriend who won't break up with her ex, but doesn't allow you to have female friends?
A jealous girlfriend that won't break up with her ex but doesn't allow you to have female friends, she doesn't get a say. Just start seeing other girls. Like, and if she flips out about it, she flips out about it. She's seeing some other guy. Deal with it. Let her see the other guy break up with her, have nothing to do with her. Somebody who's got that kind of double standard, you shouldn't even be in a relationship with anyway. It's easy. Just on that one, you've got to man up. Just be like, yo, this is how it is.
Okay. You said you haven't been cock blocked for 9 years, but RSD instructors get cock blocked all the time.
I said I haven't been cock blocked for 9 years, but RSD instructors get cock blocked all the time. Interesting question. Thank you for that, Matt. I normally don't like talking about other companies, which is why Matt's laughing in the background. I'm going to word this very, very carefully because I have a lot of friends that work for RSD and some of my older instructors work for RSD. When you move fast and you escalate quickly, it will often trigger a cock block. You create your own cock blocks. Their methods are incredibly effective, but they also focus on moving fast and escalating quickly. So they will often trigger a cock block because of the speed at which they're escalating. I do not trigger this because I don't escalate as fast as they do in the way that they do. I escalate much more under the radar. For example, I don't need things to go sexual until I'm about to have sex with a girl. So I'll often talk about sex, get them turned on, but won't actually be physically escalating on them as in trying to have sex from there and then, because I'm more than happy to wait until I get home with them to do that. So I suppose in many ways, I kind of consider this age. I find that their approach is a very youthful approach, and even though some of them are older, they still have a youthful approach. It's fun, it's about having sex, it's about having quick sex, and everyone's enjoying it. I much prefer a much more relaxed, slow burn. I find that if my game is slower in, then it tends to last a lot longer out. And that's why if you compare me to the average RSD guy, sure, they might pick up a girl much quicker than me, but my relationships last a lot longer. My relationships are much more likely to be open, and it's much easier for me to have sex with multiple people and have orgies than it is for them. So I'd say that's the difference between it.
All right, you want to take one last one?
Sure, let's do one last one. I can tell by your face it's not going to be a pleasant one.
No, it's good. So this guy's like, he's saying, you know, there's a bunch of nice guys, and one of the things they struggle with is breaking rapport. He's like, can you offer a few best tips in terms of that breaking rapport technique to reduce their cock blocking of themselves, I guess you'd say.
Wait, so what's that?
So let me just phrase it in his words.
Sure.
You were mentioning in some of your speeches breaking rapport technique.
I mentioned some of my speeches, the breaking rapport technique.
Yeah, can you give us a few best tips to us nice guys that have problems with that?
Can I give you a few best tips to nice guys that have a problem with that? Sure. Okay. The easiest way to explain breaking rapport is like American football, where if you meet a girl that's into American football, but you both support different teams, and she's like, oh my God, I really like the Saints. That's a team, right?
Let's go with Baltimore Ravens and Steelers, so two opposites that hate each other.
Baltimore Ravens and Steelers. Okay, perfect. So you meet a girl that likes the Baltimore Ravens and you like the Steelers. And she's like, oh my God, I like the Ravens. You go, oh yeah, they've got some really good players. No, that's not what you should be saying. If you really like the Steelers and they're against the Ravens, then you should be saying, and until that moment you were so cool, now I know you suck. You have bad taste in football teams. You probably have bad taste in food. This is horrible. We shouldn't even hang out. That's a breaking rapport. You both agree on the fact that football is awesome, but you disagree on the individual details, and you're not afraid to show it. By entering into that disagreement, that's breaking rapport. But if all you do is break rapport, the interaction will fall apart. You have to balance it. So you do a balance between disagreement, friendly banter or friendly arguing, and agreement, where you talk about other things that are good. So I would switch between talking about how terrible their team is to, okay, but they had one game that wasn't that bad. Back to how terrible their team is, switch to, but at least they have good food in the stadium. And that's the kind of thing that you want to be talking about. Having that banter that goes back and forth, that is the literally cat string theory, push-pull, and that's the trigger to attraction. Awesome. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure. I love being here with you guys. I'm going to see you next week. Do yourself a favor. Click on that freaking link beneath the video. Click the link and come and see me. It's free. There is no reason not to do this. Click the link.
Are you going to be on that call?
Click it. I am going to be on that call. Click the link. Come and join me. Come and see me. Come and talk to Michael Bernoff and see how awesome this guy is. Guy's a legend. Even if you've done it before, you should be there because it's free. And I find that every time I listen to him, I learn something a little bit more or I realize something else. Click the link. I will see you there. Thank you ever so much. Everyone, thank Matt. Matt's the one that does all the chat room. And again, it's his day off too. Thank you, Matt.